Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Scott K. I haven't covered too many pre-made boards on this channel unless it was something interesting or really caught my attention. Recently, when IQUNIX reached out to try their A80 and L80 boards, there was something about these boards that really got me excited: their designs. After reviewing and modifying simpler boards, I wanted to try something different, something with more flair, color, and detail. And these IQUNIX twins provided that and much more. I'll be taking a look at both the L80, L seemingly standing for lime written in the back, with a striking red, white, and blue theme, along with its more interesting looking brother, the A80, which features this cool separated and angled F key rows. I'm sure many gamers out there that extensively use the F keys will be interested in the A80 for its convenient placement of its F keys. So full disclosure, IQUNIX sent me these two boards to provide my honest opinion and told me I could do whatever I want with them. Now that's out of the way, let's get started by looking at the more traditional design featured on the L80. While both boards are considered 80% layouts, it's 83 keys in total, just shy of a TKL by about 4 keys. The L80 is more of a standard design. It features F keys on the same plane and angle as the rest of the keys, and features some clean design aesthetics like the step sides and corners in the front. Meanwhile, the A80 definitely has more flair, with bright yellow, white, gray-blue color theme, and swooping lines and multiple textures abound. As mentioned before, one of the defining characteristics of the A80 is its angle placement of the F keys above, helping to decrease the reach and improving the access. If standout design, color, and F keys are something important, then the choice is pretty clear. You should be looking at this one. So, before we go deeper into the features, what do you get with these keyboards? Both boards come in a very nice presentable box, which felt very nice and premium. Overall, the packaging is expected of a keyboard costing around $169. Inside the box, you do get a lot of things included, and one component that made this very interesting. Obviously, you get a keyboard of your choice. Then you also get this nice little brush with this sliding mechanism here for cleaning purposes. You get a pretty generic keycap and switch puller, since this is a hot swap keyboard. You get some extra keycaps for Mac OS usage. You get a very nice braided color matched USB cable. Finally, you get a 2.4 GHz USB dongle. Yes, this thing can do both wireless via Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz receiver. With the flip of a button, you can choose from USB wired mode, which also charges the batteries, and wireless mode for both Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz radio. In addition, both keyboards also feature a 2-height adjustable feet that helps you go from flat to slightly angled to very angled. A very nice touch here to increase overall comfort. The keyboards also offer a nice thick set of PBT die-sub keycaps with thickness of about 1.4mm and crisp legends. One difference is that the A80 actually has a separate indicator LED next to its escape key that shows you the Bluetooth or radio connection status, battery levels, and all. The L80 on the other hand features an LED light embedded into the middle of the keys for the same function. Now for a surprise, both the A80 and L80 comes with Costar stabilizers. Nothing particularly wrong with Costar Stabs, but Costars are a bit more difficult to tune and there aren't many aftermarket upgrades available for Costars, so it's a little surprising to see these on these boards. Before we move on to the sound tests, we need to cover RGB. During purchase, you can either choose to go with RGB or no RGB. The RGB option gives you per key RGB with various modes, however I felt the RGB on these boards were on the weaker side. Alright, so for the L80, I opted for the Hot Swap Cherry MX Silver switches. These have a shorter travel, but that signature Cherry MX sound, so let's see how they type. Overall, the Costar Stabs weren't that bad even without much tuning in this case. However, I did notice a bit of reverb coming from the lower end of the board, so we will have to fix that. For the A80, I opted for the Hot Swap Cherry Pink Linear Silent Switches. You can already guess how this will sound, but I wanted to try something and show something different. Sounds like the typical silent linear switches. So I could have called it a day here, but that wouldn't be me, so I decided to try something to make these even better. So start by stripping all the caps and switches and remove the 2 screws located on the plate. Now you can see the hot swap PCB and the north facing switch sockets here much better. Now flip it over and remove the screws behind each of the rubber feet. There are 4 in total in each corner for the L80 and only 2 for the top ones for the A80. Finally, remove the sticker in the middle to expose the last screw. Now, this being a plastic case, you also have to unclip the upper and lower parts. You can stick an old credit card into the seam, or in my case, I used the electronics prying tool to make it much easier. With everything loose, you can just lift up on the upper case to remove the plate assembly. At this point, you realize the plate is made of painted metal and not aluminum, so a stiff plate. When you actually flip this thing over, you can see that Iqunix included a felt dampener similar to the one you find in the portico. In addition, there are little rubber feet for the plate to sit on the PCB. I feel it's these little rubber feet that actually makes the reverb transfer, so I ended up removing these. Now you can lift up on the PCB and remove the battery cables as well as the antenna connection for the 2.4 GHz radio receiver. Take note of the 2 battery connectors. There's a reason for this keyboard for having 2. Now that the PCB is out, you can see a familiar sight with KL hot swap sockets in the north facing orientation. Now you can also see that IQUNIX also included a case foam below to help dampen the case. Now with the foam removed, you can see the 2 battery packs as well as the antenna stuck to the back of the case. Remember I mentioned the 2 battery cables? It's because this keyboard uses 2 2000 mAh batteries to make a total of 4000. Before I put everything together, I added a bit of Noiko sound deadener to control the plastic reverb. Then I added a layer of zip and fit shelf liner to dampen the case a bit as well. For the plate, cut out little slivers of band-aid and add it to the edge of the stab cutouts to increase a tight stab housing fit. Now put everything back together. I know I'm only showing this on the L80, but the A80 is also pretty similar, so follow the same procedure. For the final builds, I used lubed Akko CS Matcha Green linears on the L80 and the CS Ocean Blue tactiles for the A80. These Akko switches are one of the best bang for the buck, and I highly recommend if you're looking for great switches on a budget. So now let's take this for a typing test and see how they turned out. So what is my verdict? If you're looking for a striking pre-made keyboard with pretty much all the bells and whistles that you could find in a modern mechanical keyboard, these Iqunix brothers will meet all your expectations. They offer great design, hot swap, RGB, PBT keycaps, wired mode, Bluetooth mode, 2.4 GHz, the list goes on and on. However, if you're looking for the ultimate customization and amazing acoustics, there are options out there that will provide a better experience in those areas. Also, after the modifications, I feel that the L80 actually has better potential to deliver better sound. I feel the larger interior volume of the A80 makes it harder to control the boomy reverb. At the end of the day, if I had to choose between the two brothers, I would take the L80. As usual, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe and I'll have more content for you in the future. Thanks.